Welcome to Society as Service, Service as Society, a Bordonian presence through Voices of Alice Springs. The book's main themes and objectives are to engage with how services profoundly influence society processes, which in turn reflect how society survives and thrives. 2, to look at how services offerings, the services, deal with the demands of the serviced. And lastly, to highlight that society and its attendant services are both sides of the same coin. Bordonian theories assist with service and society understanding. The following is a road trip around Alice Springs, portraying visually many of the services that town has to offer. You'll have to read the book itself to fill in the gaps. Heading towards the airport, and if you look to your left, you can see an array of solar panels creating power. Just going around the corner and entering the airport space. To the right of you, even though you cannot see it, is the car park. This offers rental cars, 10-minute free parking for quick drop-off or pick-up, and over 10 minutes, 1 hour, 2 hours, 5 hours, if you actually wish to enter the airport and see your friends, work colleagues, family off, or if they just arrive. Straight ahead of you to the left is a long-term stay, so people perhaps want to park their car for a week, go somewhere else. So this is a service node that reaches out from the local to the national and perhaps to the international when people leave Australia by the coastal ports. We're just about to enter the main airport area where you can just see above you on the sign there the arrivals area. See that? And then this one is going to be the departures area. And that's the main airport of Alice Springs. Travelling on the Stewart Highway from the south, Alice Springs to the left, airport to the right. So you have a choice of which service you prefer when you get to this junction. A service of choice. Just leaving the airport, going back out towards Alice Springs. There's a few service provisions on the left. Various hangars, Royal Flying Doctor Service. As you can see it there on the left. And another hangar on the end. In the distance, you can see a lot of storage planes. This was due to the COVID-19 and airlines were struggling and needed a place to store their planes so they didn't degrade. And Alice Springs is a prime example of a very good climate for that. This is a close-up of the planes. There were quite a few more, but you can see there's still a lot still stored here. So providing a service for that, a storage service. Road network and roundabout servicing traffic flow. Speaking of road networks, this is a typical Outback Road that feeds in and out of Alice Springs. So you can see the vastness of it, and it may take you a day to perhaps drive from Alice Springs down to Port Augusta and Adelaide, or a day to drive north to Darwin, but it gives the idea of the spatial expanse of the place of Alice Springs and how its service provision is affected by this outback environment. Enjoy the ride. Travelling south from Alice Springs on the Stewart Highway, and this is a bridge that was built probably about 5 years ago. Its purpose was to rise over the railway that runs from Port Augusta through Alice Springs to Darwin. You should be able to see the line of the railway any second now. See that kind of dark line from running from left to right? That's actually the embankment to the railway there. So providing road and rail communication services to and from Alice Springs. When thinking about servicing society and society as service, cannot ignore suburbia. This is the new subdivision in Alice Springs called Kilgoff. It was built perhaps 2 or 3 years ago. Just driving in now. So you can see it's green and clean and modern. See the block sizes are quite big. It's got its own roundabout. Just turning right up this side street there. See the lamps powering the area, giving it light. Just to add to the lamp is these solar panels, which are very modern or post-modern. So it's very sustainable. So service as sustainability in this contemporary age. The newest Alice Springs Town Cemetery. There are three in town. This one from perhaps one generation or two generations past, and there's a very old one way back to the 1880s, 1890s, a very small one. This is the newest one, the newest acquisition. As you can see, there are a number of graves there, so providing an afterlife service, so to speak. And then the landscape moves out to a non-graveyard area towards the one of the Alice Springs radio stations. There are a number of them in town. So this one caters to the older generations, perhaps who like the 1950s, 1960s music, and the younger generations. So providing a sound service. Next is the Arizona Research Institute, located at the Desert Knowledge Precinct. See the sign there. Opposite side of the road is Uara College, an Indigenous education college, providing a service for Indigenous education. Is the entrance to it. For those of you who like to gamble, the racecourse services that need. The Alice Springs Animal Shelter, just there, provides a service for stray dogs and cats, perhaps to give them a second chance in life. Next door is Plathsky Park. It's the main show ground in town. As you can see, there are a lot of caravans in there, and tents, because the Fink Desert race is on. Fink Desert Race is a off-road race for dirt bikes and four-wheel drive, four-wheeled vehicles to race down to a place called Fink, about 200 kilometers down on the Sunday. And on the Monday they do the return route. Hence the quite a lot of people in town. This is still the Plathsky Park. It goes on quite a long way, so it's quite a big area, as you probably can surmise. passing more people, accommodation. This is the BMX track for the younger folk to show what they can do on small bikes, or as in push bikes. Still the Pasquite Park, and coming up to the main entrance. Just past the bus stop there. There's the entrance there. Yeah. As you can see, it's a really big area, and occasionally there's horses in that area as well. Just turning left towards the town rubbish tip. Pasquite Park is still on your left there, but beyond that, in the distance on the left, are the town sewage pits, which provide service for human waste. But also at the town tip, they have a rediscovery centre for second-hand goods that people can go and buy. So I suppose an example of recycling and sustainability, and there it is on the right there. As the camera went to the left, yeah, sorry. Again, there it is on the right there, the rediscovery centre. So there's a car park there. So just drive around the drop-off zones on the left there. So you drop off your second-hand goods that they try and recycle, and people rebuy them. And there it is in front of you. Closed now. There's opening times there on the sign. As you can see beyond that vegetation. And you see some of the second-hand goods there that you can go in and have a look around. So providing a sustainable service. The sewage bed is there, on the right there. And going back to the main roundabout, Every Tree Gap roundabout, going around it and going up the highway. So there's suburbs to your left and suburbs to your right. And soon we should get to the fire station and ambulance. You see along the left there's cycle tracks. So promoting environmental service, a clean service or green service, if you want to call it that. And that's the fire station there. Next door is the ambulance area. And then we have the swimming pool or town swimming pool coming up. There it is there on the right. So that's there on the right, the swimming pool. Just keep going up, and there's a Traeger Park there where they do like hockey and Australian rules football. Sports field there. Kmart. And into town. Ikara Hotel there. So providing accommodation, the grey buildings, sorry. See mural on the wall, and that's one of the town shopping centres called Yiparinyo, and that's a car park there on the left. We're just about to go into it. So there's 2 stories there. You can see the upper story just above there. Just about to go up to the upper story. So providing a parking service so people can do their consumerism. Subway there on your left. Some food courts on there, food shops there. Woolworths. Yeah, there's a Yiparinyo sign there just above. On the right is the town post office. That white building, that's a back entrance there for when you get delivery of boxes and stores. Main entrance is just there on the right. And Supreme Court of Northern Territory there. Here we have food and beverage provided outside. We just found it. 2 sausages and some alcoholic beverage there. So the service of providing food and drink. Supreme Court of the Northern Territory. So the law service. This is the Alice Plaza, the other main shopping centre in Alice Springs. Just going around the edge of it there. And there's a pharmacy along one side of it. So this is around the side of it. This is the Todd Street or Todd Mall. Alice Plaza free parking for 2 hours. The Target sign. So quite famous shops. And this is the inside of the plaza. So and photographic opportunities for kangaroo or emu for the younger ones. And the food court there on your left. And just driving into the main hospital entrance. So just go around this. That's the A&E entrance just there. There's Alice Springs Hospital, the sign. And come back out again. So some more industrial buildings. Keep going along. Various services, probably indigenous services. Or ahead of us is the new accommodation for hospital staff. See the crane on the left there. So it's quite a big building that's being put up. So that's probably the current one. And just going past the town library there, just straight ahead of you. Aboriginal Australian, Central Australian Aboriginal Congress. Various other service provisions. Victims of crime. This is the town council. Just there, and that's the main entrance to the town council. Town council grounds where they had a Harmony Day there last week. Various multinational cultures doing dancing and singing. Todd Tavern, a very famous pub in Alice Springs. That's the edge of it. Catholic church there on the left. So religious service. Catholic primary school there, just going past on the left. Come up to a petrol station. Various petrol stations in Alice Springs. That's one of them. That's a Caltex one. And going into the Alice Springs Youth Centre area that's on the left. So providing various martial arts, gymnastics, boxing. They did have there. I don't know if it's there now, but they did have boxing there. So that's the side entrance to it. And going up the North Highway, passing various car places. There's new and used cars on the left-hand side there. So there's a car theme happening up here. And another petrol station. More car yards. Caravans. Another petrol station. Food bank for people who haven't got enough money, so they offer them food there. Providing service there. See more car yards. Another car yard. And this is going up the North Highway now. So if you drove another 1,000 miles, you get to Darwin on this road. So suburbia on the left there. It's a Northland food area there, big supermarket. And going up the highway. So this is getting towards the outer town on the north side. A caravan park there. Still some suburbia on the left. On the right is one or two town camps, indigenous town camps. I think there's 19 around the town for indigenous people. There's also indigenous people lived all over town in suburbia anyway. I mean, traditionally, these town camps used to reflect the language groups of the indigenous people. But I think there's more of a mix now. So more suburbia on the left. And get to North Industrial area here. That used to be an old car breakers, second-hand car yard there. So some industry here. Bunnings warehouse. That's all over Australia. See big car park there. Very popular for your hardware needs or your do-it-yourself needs. Caravan. I think it's a for hire area there for travellers who want to hire vans to drive around in. Yet another car yard to buy your new cars. I think they do second-hand cars as well. Yeah, and this is the North Industrial area, more of it. So various offerings they're going by. One of those Optus towers. See the Roan train, 3 carriages on the right there. You can either have 2 or 3. More industrial area. Another road train in there. CC transports, delivering goods, so providing a service that way. That's a velodrome for the cyclists, the push bike cyclists that want to go around in circles, fast as they can. More industrial. FedEx there, famous. So transport, delivering goods to and from the town and within the town as well. That's a mining connection there. More industrial. And coming back to the main road there. Just come past the motor vehicle registration to make sure your car is registered. So that, as you can see, there's quite a big car theme or vehicle theme happening up the North Highway. Another example of road train transport containers. So we're going back down into town now. And a shot of a road train going by. Just going back down to town. Going to turn left into the telegraph station. So that was the original reason for the western presence in Alice Springs was the repeater station. with the overland telegraph lines. So this is going to there. Got a cycle track on the left, which has just been recently built. Speedways in there on the left. And just driving into the telegraph station park, which is quite a big expanse actually. So this is a place to go if you want to have a barbecue or sit in some nice green scenery. There's some nice lawns there, and actually the old telegraph station buildings from 1870, 1872. So yeah, about 150 years old, I suppose. Yeah. So telegraph station is sort of, as I was saying, telegraph station behind the trees and bushes there. So this is back in the centre of town and going up Anzac Hill. And you can see on the left the service of war. There's commemoration of various war campaigns, Boer War there, Second World War, Vietnam War, Afghanistan ongoing. So this is the top of Anzac Hill. Thought it would be nice to finish off the video with a kind of a panoramic view of Alice Springs, so you can get an overall impression of the area. I mean, what we're looking at now is the CBD, so that would include the two shopping centres that we saw a bit earlier on the video, the Catholic Church, the Catholic Primary School, and just below to the left, it's a bit hidden, is the Alice Springs Youth Centre. And you see right at the back there, where the kind of the two hills kind of meet together, that's the gap where you go through to get out to the airport. So some the car yards there in front of you, or close in anyway, and behind is the urban sprawl or suburban sprawl. So there we have it. Thanks for watching the video and getting an impression of the services of Alice Springs and its accompanying society. Just to finish off, this is the back cover of the book Society as Service, Service as Society, a Bordonian Presence Through the Voices of Alice Springs. You can read the narrative on it to give a brief overview of what the book is about. As mentioned at the beginning, if you are interested, please read the book to embellish what you saw and heard on the video narration offered throughout the last 30 minutes. Thank you and enjoy.